Many of you have been urging me to get a steam excursion train for my layout. Well, I have a surprise for you. Today you are going to see a steam excursion train on the Evanston Subdivision. That's coming right up. Hi, I'm Roy Smith. For a long time I thought that steam locomotives would never appear on my layout. After all, I am modeling a modern era layout, and besides, I had other priorities. Well, during my recent trip to central Pennsylvania, I went to English's Model Railroad Supply Store in Montoursville. Of course, you already know this if you watched last Saturday's video on this channel. I didn't go into English's intending to buy a steam excursion train, but my shopping experience there was very pleasant, and when I walked out of the store, I was carrying a Cato steam excursion train. As you might imagine, I was one very happy model railroader as I drove back home that day. I want to thank Rich Cox, retail sales manager at English's, for making my shopping experience there so pleasant. I'll put a link to English's down below in the description to this video. I discovered that I can run a steam locomotive on my modern era layout after all, because the Union Pacific runs steam excursion trains through the area I am modeling. That's why I could buy a steam excursion train and put it on my layout. That's why I can show it to you today. First, here are the three parts of the Cato steam excursion train purchased separately. The three parts include the Union Pacific FEF3 steam locomotive number 844, equipped with ESU Luxsound DCC, a 2-car water tender set, and a 7-car passenger set. In the interest of time, I'm going to unbox them and put them on the track off camera. Here it is, the train unboxed and sitting on the tracks. First, here's 844 itself. As you can see, it's an FEF or 484 locomotive. It was the last steam locomotive built for the Union Pacific. It was delivered in 1944 and has been in continuous operation ever since. In fact, it is the only steam locomotive that has never been retired from operational service by a Class I railroad. We'll talk more about 844 when the train stops at Green River. Next, the 2 water tenders. These water tenders are needed for long runs between water stops, but may be left behind on short runs. Next, a modern diesel locomotive such as this SD70 ACE might be added to the consist for extra power and braking. I'm showing you the SD70 ACE today, but I did not buy it as part of the excursion train, and I have not speed matched it with 844. So I will remove it from the train before beginning the actual run. Finally, the 7 cars that came with the Cato passenger set. Each of these cars is unique, and each one chronicles a different chapter in Union Pacific history. The Union Pacific still has something like 100 of these cars. I believe that most of them are kept at Omaha, Nebraska. They include a power car, a cruise sleeper, a museum car with the American flag, a dome coach, a coach, a domed diner, and a business car. I love the functional red lights at the end of the business car. In 1960, 844 was saved from being scrapped and was assigned to steam excursion duty. Since then, it has run hundreds of thousands of miles on such excursion runs. Today, we are going to see a portion of one such excursion run on my layout. This run is called the Boise Turn. In the Boise Turn, the train makes an 11-day round-trip run from its home location at Cheyenne, Wyoming, up to Boise, Idaho, and then back down to Cheyenne. Today we are going to catch a part of the train's return trip as it heads back to Cheyenne from Boise. We will first see it as it departs Pocatello, Idaho, where it has spent the night after leaving Boise on its way back to Cheyenne. Here it is preparing to depart from Pocatello. The train has made various stops along the way on this round trip. Many people have lined up along the tracks to see it as it passed by. Others have chased it in their cars on highways paralleling the tracks. Hundreds have come out to see it as it made its scheduled stops. Soon it will be making one such stop at Green River. So if you want to see it firsthand and up close, you need to get on down there early because a crowd of people will be waiting trackside to see it. It will spend an hour and a half at Green River. While 844 stops there at Green River, I will be able to tell you a little bit more about it and its excursion runs. But please remember, safety first. Stay off the tracks. You can hear 844's whistle from miles away as it approaches Green River. Soon, 844 will pass under the pedestrian bridge that crosses the yard where many rail fans have already gathered to watch and photograph it as it approaches. Many others are waiting trackside to see 844 up close. And here it is, 844 at Green River. Awesome. The spectators are waving, taking pictures, and even cheering as the train comes to a full stop. There are a few passengers aboard, those lucky enough to get tickets for the run, and they are waving back. And the crew is waving back too. It's so exciting. It's like stepping back in time to the 1950s when I was a young boy. While all of this is going on, we will have a chance to talk to the crew and learn more about 844 and its excursion runs. 844 was the last of the 484s bought by the Union Pacific between 1937 and 1944. It was put into service in 1944 at the head of high-speed passenger trains. It runs on fuel oil, not coal. As the steam era was coming to an end in the late 1950s, 844 was briefly converted to freight service from 1957 until 1959. In 1960, the Union Pacific saved it from being scrapped and assigned it to publicity and excursion duties instead. Today, 844 is often referred to as the living legend. 844's home base is in the Roundhouse at Cheyenne, Wyoming, where it shares space with the rest of the Union Pacific's Heritage Fleet. The Heritage Fleet includes 2 other steam locomotives, a Challenger 4664, which was taken out of service for a number of years, and a 4884 Big Boy, which is being completely restored. Of the 3 steam locomotives, 844 is the only one that has been kept in continuous service. It has been running on the rails continuously for 74 years since 1944. The Heritage Fleet also includes 5 classic diesel locomotives at the Roundhouse in Cheyenne. Now, the Union Pacific operates these excursion runs, but you can't buy tickets for the runs from the UP. The UP is forbidden by law from selling rail services to passengers since it turned its passenger service over to Amtrak back in 1971. Instead, groups and organizations such as railroad historical societies charter the UP to run the trains, and they sell tickets to the public, often as fundraisers. These excursion runs are very popular, and the tickets are normally sold out months in advance. But the stop at Green River is about to end. 844 will depart soon and head on to Rock Springs, 20 miles east of Green River, for a stop. Then it will continue on to Rawlins, where it will spend the night. It should arrive at Cheyenne tomorrow evening. So 844 is now departing its stop at Green River. Let's grab our camera gear and jump in our cars and race over to Highway 531 that overpasses the yard for another view of the train as it heads east out of Green River. We'll stop here at an abandoned road near White Mountain for our final view of the train. It wasn't that exciting. I hope you enjoyed watching 844 as it traversed the Evanston Subdivision. If you did, give 844 a thumbs up down below. Be sure to comment, and if you're here for the first time, be sure to subscribe. As always, I'd like to thank you for watching. Until next time, happy railroading. I will see you again very soon.